moms and dads, a very warm welcome to another episode of Today's Parent. I hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Christine Kasina. When was the last time you took an emotional wellness audit of your family? In today's episode, we are going to talk about the importance of emotional wellness in the family, and we have Susan Gitau, who's a counseling psychologist, to share with us why it's important and what we can do to enhance the emotional well-being of our family. Welcome to today's show. Susan, karibu sana to Today's Parent.
Thank you.
You know, when I think about emotional wellness, because when it comes to wellness, we've had, especially this year, there's been so much about mental health. You know, mental health has become such a big thing. If you could just break it down for us, I know that mental health, part of it is also emotional wellness. If you can break it down for us what emotional wellness is.
I need to say that emotional wellness, when you talk about wellness, we're talking about being healthy emotionally.
Being healthy emotionally.
Yes. And part of that is a process. I can never arrive at a place, I can never say that I am now emotionally healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a process where one is able to get in touch with themselves and know, become aware of their emotions, become aware of their strengths, become aware of their weaknesses, become aware of things that trigger me, things that make me happy.
Yeah.
Aware of my thoughts. Why do I feel this way? When I see this person, why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm.
It's a journey towards that. And then being able to control myself is part of emotional well-being. Being able to know where am I coming from? Where am I going? Okay? That way then I'm being in touch with myself and accepting the person that I'm discovering in me. If I discover that I am this and that, then I'm able to, the next step is actually to accept.
Becoming okay with that.
Becoming at peace with it. It doesn't mean I become at peace with my weaknesses. At least I can accept them. But then the next step would be, I need to work on them. But see, if I'm not aware of my weaknesses, I can't work on them. I'll keep denying myself. You tell me, Susan, I think you're an angry person. And I will say, no, I'm not. Because I've not embraced that.
And you know, the first reaction for most people is to become defensive, that absolutely not.
Exactly.
I'm not an angry person. Yeah.
So emotional well-being has to do with that journey of becoming self-aware and accepting what you see, accepting my background, accepting my strengths, accepting my family, accepting my body image, accepting everything about myself.
Absolutely.
Then I can be able to move forward.
All right.
Yes.
So still on the topic of, you know, just introducing what emotional well-being is, when you think about the family unit, and I know it's something that we cannot generalize, but when you're looking at the family wholesome, how can you tell that your family, you know, emotionally, their well-being is okay? What are the signs that we are okay emotionally as a family?
If I'm able to express myself to my family, I'm not reactive. I can express my displeasure. Let's say it's my relationship with my husband. I can be able to tell him, look, when you did this, this is how I felt.
Yeah.
That is different from, you are an idiot, you're this, you're that. So I'm being reactive.
So you say how we communicate?
It affects how we communicate.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to the children, I'm also helping them to see that you can express yourself. I can't control what people do to me, but I can control the way I respond to them.
Absolutely.
And that's where the emotional well-being comes in. I am in touch with myself. I accept somebody has hurt me. And then from there, I know how to present myself to them and communicate in a way that honors them, in a way that helps them to understand where I am. Okay. And being able to listen to one another in the family. That is part of emotional wellness. I listen to my children, listen to my spouse, listen to a visitor who comes, and give them, and realize that we are different. I'm not the ideal person, but we are different, and therefore appreciating the differences in each other, and especially in personalities even.
All right, let's go to the importance of emotional wellness. Why is it important?
One is because I'm able to, when I become aware of who I am, first, as I said, I will accept myself. if I'm aware of my weaknesses, I will work on them. 2, it helps us to communicate better within the family, even at my workplace. I'm able to communicate better. But also the ability to be able to work on my strengths, to see I'm actually good in this. And therefore I can realize that, or I think I'm good at talking to people. And if I'm not aware of my of career paths, I can look for career paths that are within who I am.
Yeah.
So that I don't end up being in the wrong career. But it also helps with relationships. Warmer relationships are created where people are not yelling at each other.
Absolutely.
But people are expressing themselves in a respectful way, in a way that they are heard. It has a way of lifting relationships in the family.
I'm wondering, Susan, how can we teach? You've mentioned that it's so important for us to become self-aware. How do we, develop a culture in our homes that people can, express themselves? I know you've mentioned, about the yelling and, just getting to accept people's opinions. But as a family, what can we do? What can we deliberately do to create a better environment?
At home, in the family,
Yes.
in the family setting. Sometimes people do even psychological tests at a family level.
You can do that?
You can. I can run a personality type, because anyway it is in the internet. I can do Myers-Briggs personality type indicator for each person. Because when people know I am a loud person, the other family members now begin to see, to accept you and not to see your differences with each other as points of conflict. In fact, it enhances a way of understanding. So one thing I would do is actually sometimes I do and have done, is run a personality test of the family members. Let's know who you are, and then also help you to know who you are as a person. Having time together as a family.
It's
whether
important.
In the house or outward, whatever you're doing, even if you're walking in the estate, but you're together. Because when you're together, you hear one another, you listen to one another. Okay, you give each other a sense of support system.
Yeah.
You give each other a sense of feeling at home with each other, and that promotes a culture of I know when I'm in this family, I am accepted. I know when they allow me to be who I am, and they're not trying to change me. Oh, I don't like the way you're dressed. I don't like this, but I can express myself in the family the way I feel I should. Of course, there are guidelines, especially when children are young, to teach them how to dress and what is culturally acceptable. But giving each member of the family the opportunity to be themselves.
Absolutely.
Within some boundaries.
So, Susan, speaking about different members of the family and in relation to emotional wellness, the one person in this equation that is so important, and we'll tackle one at a time, the mother. As a mom, how can you, or even before we get to the how, why is emotional wellness important for a woman? Why is it important for a woman to invest in her, emotional wellness?
So that I don't run mad.
Well said.
Yeah.
And motherhood can drive you crazy, not literally, and sometimes literally.
Yes, yes. Because part of it, you have the children with yourself, they are calling you, each of them is calling you mom.
I can even hear my son's voice in my head right now. Mom!
Yes. And so, first, I think, as a mom, it's good to accept your role as a mom. Because the fact that you chose to have children, it means that you need to give yourself that role of, I'm going to raise them. They will grow if you don't raise them, but you should be able to, or I should be able to accept first, I am a mom. And moms are required to raise their children.
On the job 24 hours.
Yes. Moms, so long as I'm a mom, I will be called mom 100 times, and therefore I am expecting it. I'm expecting to be asked what is going to be cooked. I'm expecting I'm expecting they are going to call me when there's a conflict.
Yeah. Mom, where's my socks?
Yes, yes. And yet it is their responsibility. I'm expecting even the house help to keep asking me many questions.
Tunapika nini leo?
Tunapika nini leo? Hakuna nyanya. At that time, maybe there is no cash at hand. So part of the success of my emotional wellness is accepting my role.
As a mother, as a woman,
mother.
yes.
Yes. I've not been forced by anyone to be a mom. I chose. And therefore, because I chose, then I need to settle down in that role. Now, while you're in it, because it can be very lonely.
Yeah.
And when you're with children, you are basically giving into, you're giving, it's a giving role, not receiving. So as a mom then, I need to be able to see, beside this giving, which I'm giving willingly, I need to have another source where I'm receiving. And that's where we bring in the aspect of self-care.
Okay.
Otherwise, by evening, maybe my husband comes back from work and I'm unable to talk because I have talked the whole day.
You know, you can become very resentful, eh?
Exactly. You become very resentful. So then being able to find for yourself, what do I like doing with my spare time?
Speaking about what people like doing within the family, before we go on the break, how about we speak about the importance of emotional wellness for the dad?
Dads are also human beings like the moms. And I think it's also good to accept their role. That the children, they will not want to understand you've been working the whole day. When they see you, you are dad, and they don't understand anything else. And therefore, just like the mom, accept your role, accepting the role as a dad, and know that when you get home, you are no longer a worker, but a parent. And fill those shoes, or accept that role again, just like a mom. And do the role of expect to be called, expect to be asked for money, expect the expectation, expect that. When you expect, then you prepare yourself emotionally. Then you won't be reacting to when the family is calling and asking. You're not going to react asking them, you people don't understand me. I work the whole day.
And you go for them, sina pesa?
Sina pesa.
Yeah.
But they don't know that. They know you as a dad. Mm-hmm. So accept the role of being a dad and expect, and that comes with expectations, and prepare for it.
On that note, which you've put it very, very well, let's take a short break and then we'll continue our conversation when we come back.
Thank you.
In today's conversation, we have Susan Ngatia, who's a counseling psychologist. We are talking about the importance of, the emotional well-being of the family, emotional wellness. We are going to take a short break right now and we'll be back right after this. We are back from the break, and our conversation today is with counseling psychologist Susan Ngatia. We are talking about the importance of emotional wellness in the family. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Susan, self-care. What's the definition of self-care?
In a layman's language, it's basically taking time to recharge my battery, to do things that I like, rest physically, reflect, and do things that help me to grow.
Basically, I like the definition. Yes. Things that help you to grow.
Yes.
Reflect. Time by yourself.
Yes.
Recharge. Sometimes I feel that I'm on a one-woman campaign to emphasize and to get moms to adopt self-care. Because when you become a mom, like we said, it becomes about your children, your partner, about the home. So more often than not, we forget ourselves as mothers. How do we get beyond the mom guilt and understand that it's important for us to take care of ourselves before we take care of other people?
You see, let me begin by saying that if you don't take time off, then you become a once mom. Because self-care means I'm taking off. Otherwise, your job will be 24 hours. Imagine coming back tomorrow, you have not slept.
That's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
It's not healthy.
Not only healthy, you're not a pleasant person to your viewers, right? Or a teacher who teaches 24 hours, or a driver who drives from here to Busia and drives back. That is dangerous to their own health and even to the life of other people. Now, in the case of moms, then it is important to recharge your battery. And because we are not meant to go, yes, we say that you are a 24-hour mom, but it is my responsibility, because I don't have a spare body. I don't have a spare mind.
No.
I need to find in myself, what can I do to rest? I may not take off for a whole day, but within a day I can take a few hours every day. And this is what I tell moms. Find 1 hour in the day when you can be able to recharge your battery. Do something that you like. Even if it is watching TV, but you're doing it alone.
Yeah.
And you're not
something that you like.
Yes. And you can lock yourself even in the room and say, I don't want anyone to call me. You put off your phone and rest. When you come out, you're a better person. You're a better mom. You'll be able to withstand pressure from the children. You can withstand pressure from your husband. You can withstand pressure from the house help.
From life. From life.
Yes, exactly.
How about the kids? How do we then, nurture their emotional wellness? How about the children?
How do we nurture the emotional wellness? First, the way we modeled. We talked about modeling.
Yes, as adults, the mom and dad.
As adults. Because you see, children learn, we don't teach children by chalk and board at home. They learn by watching. What is your value system? And they see, if they are girls, they are going to learn from you, how do mom act? How do they act when they are angry? Mm-hmm. How do moms communicate? And they just click save in the emotional. It's just a matter of time before they execute it, according to what they saw. And so, as part of social learning, is being able to model. Parents model. They need to model emotional wellness without feeling guilty. But also putting controls, like when it comes to temper tantrums, because children throw temper tantrums because they are displeased with something. They didn't have their way. Mm-hmm. And that is where parenting comes in, parenting skills, where I can be able to say, you're free to say what you're displeased about, but not this way. In other words, learn to respect, because when I throw a temper tantrum, and I think you've seen adults throw temper tantrums, this is how it affects the people around you. And therefore, you need to learn to respect, to coexist with other people in ways that are honoring to them, in ways that are respectful to them. And so when you throw a temper tantrum, when you throw things on the floor, it affects
everybody around you.
And so you train, or I train my children to know, express yourself, but not that way.
When should we start?
When you can be able to communicate with your children. Somebody said, when you're breastfeeding a 6-month-old baby and they bite, they need to get a spank to see that is wrong.
Susan, you're so old school. I thought these days they say we talk to them, have a conversation. I mean, with an infant, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But there's a consequence, that's what you mean.
There's a consequence. And that's part of training. Training to control yourself. Yes. If, of course, the baby would not say, because they are biting just to check what is the limit. But they begin to see that in life there are limits. There are things I'm allowed to do.
Yeah.
There are things I'm not allowed to do. By the time they are reaching a place like, let's say, 1.5, 2 years there, those are the ones that we call the terrible twos. And they're trying to look around, and they want, demanding to be independent. And when that usually does not come out very well, because they are insisting that they can change themselves. They are insisting they can cook. Mm-hmm. They are insisting they can carry a sibling who is maybe 2 months. And so, and I know there are many ways of doing it, but part of it is actually introducing the issue of discipline. Okay. Because you can't reason much with toddlers. And so as they grow up in the different stages, the 2-year-old will become a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old. Give children the opportunity to express by themselves.
Okay.
Because part of emotional wellness, a big part of it is communication.
Communication. Okay. And, just in the same space, what I'm wondering is, just within the family, how do we get to a point where when we express ourselves, for an emotionally well family, I feel that one of the things that need to be present is that when you speak, you are heard. You've just mentioned about communication. In the same line of emotional wellness, how do we enhance communication within the family?
And maybe we need to define communication. Communication is where two people or more are speaking. I speak, you listen, you hear me, and I hear you. How do we enhance that? Of course, time together. It is time together when the family is together in, the old school, whether it is old or new, is having meals together. That is where everyone is feeling I'm home. And people can, if it is in the evening, people can say, this is how my day was.
Without fear of being judged, just being given time to express themselves.
Yes. There is power in self-expression.
Susan, a positive outlook, towards life. I know it's one of the aspects when it comes to emotional wellness. How, as a family, we view life. Though, of course, it's individual. But then, a positive outlook, is this something that we can teach within our homes, or is it something that is genetic, or we just leave ourselves to the mercy of the world? How do we go about that?
Now, positive, it's what we call being optimistic.
Optimism.
Yes. Where you look at life, this glass is full, almost full, instead of this glass is empty. Now, part of that is because the human being is very complex in the sense that if I was socialized to see life on the negative, that's become my default setting. That I will wake up and I'll see what I don't have. Or I don't have this, my nose should have been longer, my eyes should have been like this. And so it becomes part of what I say and how I treat other people.
Yeah.
And so my background, and that's why I'm talking about like moms, we need to be able to teach our children. I had a negative day, there must have been a positive part of it. So let's focus on
the positive.
And so helping people to see, was it modeled from my background? Or where have I picked it from? Once you do that, or is this just a stage of life that I'm in, where maybe somebody has gone through so many negative situations, maybe traumatic experiences, which have made them to lose hope.
Yeah.
And someone who has lost hope will see life negative. They will see the world as a place which is very unsafe. Say somebody was robbed, somebody lost a job, and you are talking to them, they will begin to see, surely this place is not a good place. And that's why they lose hope, and some of them kill themselves, commit suicide. And so helping people to understand, where is my negativity? First, become aware that I think I'm seeing half empty.
Yeah, instead of half full.
Yes. And these are the consequences of being negative or pessimistic, right? So then how do I move forward as a person? Am I happy by being negative? Of course, it brings negative energy. By being negative, I'm feeling as if I can't try a new thing.
Right.
Because I already say I'm going to fail. I can't even try to apply because I've failed so many times. But a person who has a positive orientation will keep trying because they believe one day I'll succeed. So it's a very important trait to cultivate for our children,
Optimism.
but even for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that then the person also becomes very resilient as they work because they are like, I can make it. They keep their self-talk is positive. For an empty glass person, their self-talk is negative.
Oh my God, then they give up.
I can't. People tell me I'm beautiful. I don't even think I am. Oh, I can't. No, I'm not.
And every time you tell them, they ask you, really?
Yes. Or to tell somebody, I love your dress. Say, oh, I got it in toy market.
But what if I got it at toy market? But anyway,
You didn't need to say. You didn't need to
Like
say.
to say
Thank you. You know, be positive and appreciate the moment.
Susan, we have to wrap this up. Your final word of advice when it comes to enhancing, you know, the emotional well-being of the family. What's your take home you want our viewers to, you know, to take?
Give each other time to express themselves. Let the home be the place where people express themselves and they are accepted and they are given the opportunity to grow according to who they are, to thrive according to who they are. Listen to one another as family members. Listen to your children. Need to apologize to them when you need to. Apologize to one another. It's part of creating that emotional wellness. Otherwise, people begin to go to the world feeling empty. So at home is actually the cooking pot where people begin to feel I'm accepted for who I am.
Thank you, Susan.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for your time. And with that, we come to the end of today's episode of Today's Parent. We have been having a conversation with Susan Gatia. She's a counseling psychologist. Our focus today was the importance of, you know, just taking that time to develop the emotional well-being of our families. For the moms who are watching, I can tell you for sure that self-care is not selfish. So don't feel guilty when you spend that time by yourself, because it's important for you to re-energize and to recharge. And for everybody within the family, it's important for all of us to invest in self-awareness. I hope you learned something from today's show and you found it to be impactful. I have been your host, Christine Kasina. This has been Today's Parent, and we've been here in studio at Little Cribs, the home of fun, exciting, durable, and affordable furniture. Please make sure you check them out. If you're looking for parenting resources, head on to www.supermamas.co.ke. Do have a good day, and thank you so much for tuning in.